Superman slash Wonder Woman number 4, written by Charles Soule, art by Tony S. Daniels. So last issue, Zod showed up and was brought to the Fortress of Solitude by Superman, put on lockdown while he just sorts everything out. And then Superman and Wonder Woman's relationship was leaked to the public. Everyone knows about it. So we open up with Clark and Diana just sitting and talking, and they're just like, okay, using your super hearing, what are people saying? And he's like, they're saying pretty much everything all over the spectrum. And she's like, okay, ignore them. Don't worry about it. Look, just listen to me. And she goes on this whole long thing about like, look, you are Clark and then you are Superman. Those are two separate entities, but like, is it such a bad thing that like, maybe you stop being Clark and just be Superman all the time? Like, you can still do the Clark things. You just have to, like, give up the identity. And she's like, he basically is just like, no, I chose to be, look, I'm a writer because it's hard. It's something that even with Superman abilities, like, I can't just fake my way through. I have to actually put effort into it. That's the same sort of way that the Clark thing is that I don't want just Superman all the time. Sometimes I would like to be human. And at this point, he's like, look, this leak, this reveal to the public happened through my website that I'm a part of, which is stupid as hell, but I have to go look into that. Or can we like meet up later? And she's like, yeah, of course. Go on. Do your Clark thing. So the narration at this point is basically all Wonder Woman. And over the course of it, she's basically saying like, yeah, me and him are like very different. We view the world very differently. And that's not like an inherently bad thing, but it is something that over time is going to change. And we see Zod is standing in the monitor room of the Fortress of Solitude. He's just looking over the whole of the planet and he's like, all right, cool. Got a feeling for how this Earth works out. Hey, look, there's the Phantom Zone projector. I'm going to go and get my loved one out of it. And he goes over to try to activate it, but for some reason he can't. And he's just like, wait a minute, how in the hell did that idiot... And he starts like getting pissed off. He's like, you know what? Whatever. I can trick him into it another way. So he walks back over to his quote-unquote cage and gets inside. After some time, Superman comes back and he sees Zod there. He's like, hey, Zod. And Zod tries talking to him in Kryptonian. He's like, hey, do you know Kryptonian? He's like, yeah, a little bit. And he's like, I could tell you learned from the computer because you have like no accent. It's super freaky. And Superman's like, okay, whatever. Anyway, I need to talk to you. And Zod's like, hey, what about your girlfriend? Where's she at? She was so cool. Man, you really did a good job there. You're just like your dad. You like him fierce. He's like, okay, but Zod, seriously, focus here. I need to talk to you. What do you know about Doomsday? And he's like, what the hell's a Doomsday? And he's like, it's a big thing, gray, bones everywhere. It would have been in the Phantom Zone. And he's like, oh, yeah, Doomsday. Is that what you're calling him? It's a good name. Yeah, so Doomsday, fierce creature, bad thing. Yes, he was in the Phantom Zone, and in fact, the whole reason I was in the Phantom Zone was in order to make sure that that thing never got out. And Superman's like, well, you suck at it, because we fought it on a boat. And he's like, what? No, that's impossible. Do you have a Phantom Zone projector? And he's like, yeah. He's like, bring it here. We got to deal with this. We got to deal with this now. So Superman goes over to the Phantom Zone projector, brings it over, and he's like, yeah, hey, I put a password, like a genetic lock on this thing so that nobody else is able to use it. Just a precautionary measure. I'll unlock it for you. And he's like, yeah, no, totally, absolutely. But then he puts in, and he's just like, oh yeah, why are you so afraid of me? He's like, I'm not afraid of you, Zod. I'm just cautious until I know exactly like who you are and like I can verify some stuff about you. And he's like, right, totally. I absolutely get it. So then Superman clears off the genetic lock, and then Zod just says a word in Kryptonian, and immediately his cage falls apart. And Superman's like, I'm sorry, what's just happened? He's like, dude, these things aren't cages. Like, yeah, I know they look like that, but they're more like shipping containers. And in order to open them, there's a default password that I figured you were too stupid to know how to change. So yeah, I just let myself go. And in order to keep you busy, I'm going to free all your monsters while I do my thing. So he says the word to free all of the different beasts that Superman's caged up in here. And yeah, Superman is immediately like overrun by it. But Zod starts up the Phantom Zone projector, and through it we can see this figure, this person, and Clark immediately busts through some of the monsters enough to pop Zod in the face. And as Zod is bleeding on the floor, he's still good. He's still all right. Superman's asking, like, what are you doing, man? Just walk me through your thought process. So you might still be savable here. And he's like, oh, I would do what any man would do. And Clark's like, okay, well, if you're freeing something from the Phantom Zone, sorry, that's a no-go. So he zaps Zod with his heat vision. And Zod counters back. He's like, dude, if your girlfriend was trapped in there, would you do anything to save her? And he's like, I mean, I get. And as he's distracted, Zod hits him with the laser beams as well. So Zod finally taps in the final things he needs to the portal. And the narration from Wonder Woman is basically saying, like, yeah, there's one thing that both of us know is that at the end of the day, both of us are going to be leading our separate lives, and if we don't manage to like come together, we're both going to end up facing it alone. And we see the woman coming out of the Phantom Zone, collapses into Zod's arm, and he says, Feora, and he hugs her. There's also a backup story, but I'm going to cover that at a later date. So yeah, no, this is a solid issue. I mean, half an issue. The backup story relates to him going to Cat Grant and being like, hey, what's up, man? But no, this one is solid. I really like this idea of, okay, we're doing a parallel of Superman and Wonder Woman with Zod and Feora, and we're going to show how they line up together and what their thing's going to be, because it's it's a superpowered couple versus an evil superpowered couple. So I'm down with that. All in all, I'd probably say it's like I'm going to go with like a 7.5. I probably would give it an 8, but it is just because it's only half a story, because the other half is the backup. It's kind of just whatever on its own. But I am definitely looking forward to how we continue this, because it's solid setup throughout. We're setting up this idea of like, you know, can Superman truly like open up if half of his life is just not with Wonder Woman? So no, I'm in. It's a good story.